Network forensics. Let's start with the unit. What is network forensics? State goals of network forensics. Network forensics is capturing, recording, and analysis of packets in order to determine the source of network security attack. The common goals are to collect evidence, to analyze network traffic data, to analyze the nature of attackers, and to detect the intrusion pattern. Next question that can be asked is, explain password cracking techniques. There are a number of techniques, out of which few techniques we have listed here. The first one is dictionary attack. The hacker uses a list of common words that most of the time people keep it as password, and they store it into a document which is called as a dictionary. Now the hacker one by one checks all the words from the dictionary to check whether any of the word matches with the victim's system. Next is brute force attack. Brute force attack is also more likely same as a dictionary attack, but in this the software tries to make a combination of the passwords. Most of the time people keep the password as password 123. So instead of only checking with the password 123, it may also check with 123 password with the alphabet P as a capital or small or a combination of these. Traffic interception. In this, the cyber criminal use software such as packet sniffers to monitor network traffic and capture the passwords those are passed between the networks. Keylogger attack. In the keylogger attack, cyber criminals mostly install a software that tracks the user's keystroke into the victim system. In the victim system, a software is being installed which keeps on tracking the keys whatever user is typing into the system. These keys are stored into a text file which can be taken by the victim later on. The attacker takes the text file from the victim system, and in that text file, if the user has logged on to any of the networking sites like through the banks or has put up any of the credential, all that gets stored into the text file. Social engineering attack is also a form of attack in which a person is emotionally fooled, or the person gets some sort of mails through which the information of the fake website through which the credentials and other details can be taken. Next is explain technical exploit. There are 4 types of technical exploit. If this question comes, it will be for the 10 marks. Technical exploits, you need to explain all the 4 exploits: protocol, application, browser and operating system. This question can also come in the form of short notes, or separately it can be asked like explain protocol, application, browser or operating system exploit. So accordingly you should be able to manage it. For the technical exploits, let's see one by one. First one is protocol exploit. Exploit is a software that tries to take the advantage of the flaws into a computer system. In case of protocol exploit, the hacker tries to take the advantage of some of the protocol flaws which are there into the management of the protocol. Here if we take the TCP protocol, in the handshake method there are some flaws with the help of which the hacker can or the criminal can launch a DOS attack, denial of service attack, in which the server is flooded with a number of messages so that it is unable to fulfill the other request. So this is one of the protocol exploit. Another is source routing attack. Normally there is a facility provided to the network administrator. So any of the packet, the administrator can put a proper route to a particular packet, whether the packet will directly go to the destination or it will hop and go to the destination. So this facility which is been there to the network administrator can be act as a flaw, and because the hacker can change the route of any of the packet and misuse it. Other than TCP also there are other type of protocol exploits like HTTP, DNS, gateway exploits. So these are 3 types of protocol exploits. Next is application software exploit. If there is a flaw into any of the application or a software, commonly known as bugs, so that is called as application software exploit. Now the exploits can be like buffer overflow. This occurs when the number of bytes or character input exceeds the maximum number allowed by the program. Or unexpected input. The programmer might not take the step to define what happens if invalid input is entered. Suppose the program is expecting to take any of the input, but the user put some different sort of input to that particular program. There should be some exceptions to be handled by that particular application or a software. If there are no exceptions given to that software, it can act in a different way or the application may crash. There are some configuration bugs. There are also mail bombs. Number of the email if comes on, then the particular software may crash. So these are application software exploits. Next are browser exploit. There are also some flaws into the browsers. A variety of browsers are there. Exploitable browser characteristics, like most of the time the information are also stored into the browsers in the form of cookies, or even the password and credentials are stored. So hacker can take such type of information and misuse it. Web spoofing, where the cracker is able to change the content of a website, and whatever the user is putting, that content can directly go to the hacker. So these two are the browser exploits. Next we have operating system exploit. If there is a flaw into the working of an operating system, it is known as operating system exploit. So there is one operating system exploit like WinNuke out of band attack. This is particularly a flaw into the Microsoft operating system. Whenever a TCP connection is established with the target IP address using port number 139, in this case, after the connection is established, the system starts sending the data and with a flag known as MSGOB in the packet header. This indicates that the information is going to the server and it is out of band. That means once the information is sent, there will be at the end of the information there should be a pointer that indicates that the information is over right now. What the hacker does is it's remove that pointer so that the web server is unable to detect the ending of that particular information and it continuously goes into a loop. This may lead to the cracking of that particular system or halting that particular system. It can re-establish the connection only after rebooting it. Next is Windows registry attack. This is also an operating system attack in which some of the changes can be done into the registry. So here we have completed technical exploits. Next is explain network attack and its prevention. Network attacks can be of various types like passive attack. Active and passive attack we have already seen into the first unit itself. Passive attack is an attack where actually a hacker is not making any of the connection or communication to the victim system. It is only through social networking sites or through googling or for surfing it will gather the information. In the active attack, actually an attack is launched to a particular system. Close-in attack is a type of attack where the attacker is physically present to the targeted system. It is near to the system and actually able to manipulate that particular system. An insider attack is an attack which is being launched by a person who is actually some person from the company itself who already know the system very well. Distribution attack is an attack which is launched to the distributed systems using backdoors and all. So all these attacks, all the preventions I have already listed. Some common prevention which should be taken to prevent any of the network attack is we should keep on changing the password frequently. Keep backup of the important files, use antivirus, update the antivirus, use strong encryptions for data transactions, and use firewall. So these are few of the preventions which should be taken care to avoid the network attacks. Okay, next important 10 marks question. Explain intrusion detection system and its types. Intrusion detection system is a system that monitors the network traffic for suspicious activities and alerts, and then it whenever any of the such activities is found, it just generates an alarm so that the network administrator should know about the thing. This particular topic I have already created a separate video on this, as it is a very important question. So there are different IDS can be classified as active IDS, passive IDS, host based IDS. Also there are some advantage, disadvantage for each of them. Knowledge based, or it is also known as signature based, where it tracks to a particular pattern or a signature in which the attacker generates a particular attack. Behavioral based, and the network intrusion detection system. So these are the 6 categories, and very important question, just go through it. Explain procedure of collecting network based evidence. Again in question for 10 marks. How we need to collect evidence that is generated through the network. In the network based evidence, there are 3 steps that need to be followed. First of all, to set up a network monitoring system. For setting up the network monitoring system, it is very important to find out the goal for what this investigation has to be done. Because depending upon the goal only, the appropriate hardware and software should be set up into the system. The hardware, while setting up the hardware, we need to take care about the type of CPU which is being used, the RAM amount, and the hard drive capacity which should be used for it. Also appropriate software should be taken care, like which type of operating system will be using, remote access, and the silent sniffer and file formats. So once the goal is finalized, depending upon the hardware and software can also be finalized. After setting a network, the network should be deployed. For this, different switches and the MAC address from where and all which port the data should be calculated, monitors, all these things should be considered. Now evaluating your network monitor, which all data should be collected, and how to examine and monitor such type of data. Now whenever the information comes, it comes in the form of packets. The packet has 2 type of data. One is the content and another is non-content information. Non-content information is the, you can say, like metadata, which contains the information about the headers. Like when this particular packet is created, what is the size of it, what is the source, what is the destination. This information is also very important for analysis. So for this there is need to perform a trap and trace. This can be done using standard tools like TCP dump and WinDump. After collecting the non-content information, there is also need to collect the content of that particular packet. This is known as full content monitoring. It can also be done using TCP dump tool, and so maximum traffic of the data is collected, and depending upon the requirement, the information is filtered out. Then it is also very important to collect all the log files. Different log files are there, like intrusion detection logs, firewall logs, router logs, all these, because everything is passed through network itself. So all these are collected and then evaluation is done. So whenever data from the network has to be collected as an evidence, so these are the steps which need to be followed. Okay, next this is also an important question for 10 marks. Most of the time it is also asked. Explain steps in router investigation. So router is a network layer device, or you can say a software application that determines the next network point to which a data packet should be forwarded. So what are the steps in router investigation? First of all, a router need to be accessed. It can be accessed through the console. The actual time, the router time should be noted. There are various commands. Also, the information that should be gathered from the router should be, first thing is the volatile evidence. Volatile evidence means volatile indicates the temporary information which is lost once you restart that particular system. So the volatile data that should be collected beforehand is the current configuration, access list, time of that routing things, and the log files. So there are different methods to get it. If for the direct access, all these information can be directly taken with the help of some show commands, and sometimes it is also possible that the hacker has changed the password of the particular router, so the investigators are unable to access it directly. In that case, the information, all these volatile evidence can be collected by port scanning by specifying the router IP. Router configuration details can be gathered through RAM or NVRAM. NVRAM is non-volatile RAM, so it's not sufficient to gather the information that is there in the RAM. It is also, NVRAM is also that much important. Then it is required to log the entire session with hyperterminal and gather all the volatile and non-volatile router configurations. Once these things are done, we need to examine and analyze the information. For examine and analyze of the information, the examiner should have router configuration with him, routing table, access control list, who all have access at which particular time, and router logs. Very important. So there are different types of router logs like a log buffer, system log, console log, terminal, and all these log files are gathered, and then only the analysis is done. Once the analysis is done and the examiner reaches to some of the solution for it, a report is generated. The content of the report should be, it should contain the information about the files, the internet related evidence, data and image analysis, and whatever procedure the investigators have followed. So these are the 5 steps for router investigation. We will access, gather the volatile evidence. In the volatile evidence, router configuration is also there. Once all these things are gathered, the examiner analysis is done, and at the end, documentation. A report is generated. Now I am also specifying some tools that are used in router investigation. The first tool that is used is RAT, Router Audit Tool. This tool is basically used to download all the configuration of this files. As you have seen, in volatile data, router configurations are there. So apart from the command, some tools can also be used. Link Logger is a tool that specifies the internet security and network traffic can be monitored by this. And Sawmill. Sawmill is a log analyzer, because log files also play a very important task. So it will analyze all the log files, and so that the investigator can conclude to some particular things. All the searching of the log files can be done. Apart from these also, there are some other tools that can be used by the investigator. 3 of them has been listed here. So this is how the unit is. We complete here the network forensics. Okay, thank you.